King Charles just handed Trump's America 250 a royal seal of approval. The king just turned America 250 into a special relationship spectacle. King Charles has sent President Donald Trump and the American people a formal message marking the 250th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. And the timing gives America 250 something far bigger than polite diplomacy. It gives Trump's anniversary spectacle a royal seal of approval from the very institution America broke away from in 1776. That is the power of the moment. The British monarch is not endorsing Trump as a politician, and the message is not a partisan campaign statement. But in the theater of statecraft, symbolism matters, and Charles has just placed the crown inside America's biggest patriotic milestone for half a century. Why the message matters now? The message matters because America 250 is not just another 4th of July. It is the first quarter-millennium anniversary of American independence, a national commemoration loaded with history, identity, military pride, political meaning, and global projection. Under Trump, it also becomes a platform for American strength, national inheritance, and the restoration of patriotic spectacle. That is why a royal message from King Charles lands with unusual force. The United States was born by rejecting monarchy. Yet 250 years later, the British monarch is congratulating the Republic on its independence, praising its achievements, and calling for the two countries to look ahead together. The image is almost impossible to ignore. The crown saluting the revolution that defeated it. It also gives Trump a valuable diplomatic frame. America 250 can be sold domestically as a patriotic celebration, but Charles's message gives it international weight. It tells Americans that their anniversary is not only a domestic birthday party, but a moment watched, respected, and formally honored by America's oldest former adversary and closest long-term ally. For Britain, the message is equally useful. It allows the king to present the United Kingdom as America's most natural partner at a time when Washington's attention is pulled across China, Europe, the Middle East, technology, trade, and domestic division. The monarchy becomes a bridge where politics can become too sharp. What the royal seal of approval contains. The king's message is warm, carefully worded, and full of diplomatic architecture. It congratulates the president and the people of the United States on the 250th anniversary of independence, and says the king and queen were proud and honored to celebrate the anniversary during their visit to the United States in April. The most important part is not the greeting. It is the way Charles describes the relationship between Britain and America as an extraordinary evolution from conflict to one of the closest and most productive alliances in the world. That sentence carries the whole story. War became reconciliation. Reconciliation became partnership, and partnership became one of the central alliances of the modern West. Charles also identifies the areas where the relationship still matters. He names defense and security, trade and investment, science, research, education, culture, and the arts. This is not soft royal flattery alone. It is a map of the modern special relationship, from intelligence and military cooperation to universities, commerce, culture, and shared diplomatic reach. The message also reaches beyond ceremony into values. Charles refers to friendship, trust, liberty, the rule of law, and the dignity of all people. He adds a familiar personal emphasis on the natural world, arguing that decisions taken today will affect prosperity and national security for future generations. That gives the statement a King Charles signature, constitutional warmth, alliance language, and environmental warning folded into one message. Has this ever been done before? Yes, but not often, and that is why this moment is significant. The closest comparison is 1976. When Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip visited the United States during the bicentennial celebrations marking 200 years of American independence. That visit was one of the great acts of royal reconciliation in modern Anglo-American history. The 1976 visit carried deep symbolism. Queen Elizabeth was not simply making a friendly trip to another country. She was visiting the republic that had once broken from the British crown, and she did so during the anniversary of that break. The monarchy appeared not as a wounded remnant of empire, but as a diplomatic partner mature enough to celebrate the success of the nation that had rejected it. During that bicentennial period, the Queen presented a new Liberty Bell to Philadelphia. That gesture mattered because it turned the old revolutionary symbol into a shared object of reconciliation. Britain was no longer the power against which American liberty defined itself. It was the power publicly honoring that liberty. Charles's message sits in that same tradition, but the 2026 version belongs to a different world. Queen Elizabeth's bicentennial visit came during the Cold War, when the Western Alliance was defined by the contest with the Soviet Union. Charles's message arrives in an era of China's rise, renewed war in Europe, pressure on NATO, trade rivalry, mass migration, technological disruption, and a more divided American political culture. That makes the message less ceremonial than it first appears. It is a reminder that the special relationship has survived, not because Britain and America agree on everything, but because both countries keep finding strategic reasons to repair the relationship when the politics becomes noisy. The special relationship behind the ceremony. The United States and the United Kingdom have one of the strangest relationships in modern politics. They began as enemies, built their national identities against each other, and then gradually became partners through trade, war, culture, intelligence, and shared global interests. The phrase special relationship is often overused, but the underlying structure is real. It exists through defense cooperation, intelligence sharing, nuclear history, NATO, diplomatic coordination, business links, financial markets, universities, language, media, culture, and family ties. It is not just leaders standing beside each other at press conferences. It is a thick web of institutions that keeps working even when prime ministers and presidents irritate each other. That is where the monarchy becomes useful. Presidents change. Prime ministers fall. Parties turn inward. But the crown can speak in a longer historical register, one that reaches beyond the fight of the week. Charles can say things about continuity, reconciliation, and inheritance that would sound forced from a party politician. For Trump, that matters. He has always understood the visual power of monarchy, ceremony, military display, flags, flyovers, banquets, and state theater. America 250 gives him a stage built for national grandeur. A warm message from King Charles adds a transatlantic layer to that stage and makes the anniversary feel less like an isolated domestic event and more like a world historical commemoration. For Charles, the moment is more delicate. He has to honor America without appearing to become part of American partisan politics. His message avoids direct political endorsement, but it still gives the president the benefit of royal attention. That is the subtle force of monarchy. It does not need to campaign to matter. Why Trump benefits from the optics? Trump benefits because the story photographs and headlines itself. The president who has made patriotism, national pride, and American greatness central to his political identity is receiving formal congratulations from the British King on the 250th anniversary of independence. That is powerful political theater. The deeper advantage is legitimacy. America 250 under Trump can be attacked by opponents as politicized, performative, or excessive. A royal message does not erase those arguments, but it complicates them. It makes the commemoration look less like a Trump-only production and more like a milestone recognized by allies, institutions, and history itself. It also allows Trump to stand inside the sweep of American history rather than only the churn of current politics. The Declaration of Independence, the Revolution, the defeat of monarchy, the rise of the Republic, the alliance with Britain, and the global power of the United States all become part of the same frame. That is the kind of frame Trump will want: bold, patriotic, simple, and visually dominant. There is also an irony that helps the spectacle. America's national birthday is built around the rejection of kings. Yet the king's praise now strengthens the celebration. That does not weaken the American story. It sharpens it. A former imperial enemy congratulating the Republic is one of the clearest signs that America did not merely win independence. It built a country so powerful that even the old crown now honors its rise. What happens next? The immediate consequence is symbolic, but symbolism is not minor in diplomacy. King Charles's message will sit alongside the wider America 250 celebrations as evidence that the anniversary has drawn formal recognition from Britain at the highest level. It also reinforces the April state visit as part of a larger anniversary arc, rather than a standalone diplomatic pageant. The next question is whether that symbolism converts into stronger political cooperation. The king can provide the language of continuity, but governments still have to manage trade, defense spending, Ukraine, China, technology, intelligence, energy, climate, migration, and NATO. The royal message helps create atmosphere. It does not settle policy. Still, atmosphere matters. The special relationship has often survived because both countries keep renewing the story around it. 1976, Queen Elizabeth helped turn the bicentennial into a moment of reconciliation. In 26, King Charles has done something similar for America 250, giving Trump's patriotic milestone the one endorsement no revolutionary generation could have imagined: the blessing of the British crown.